I got 3 businesses. Everything is going so well for me. I don't have and then she said, well, it's, you're not left for dead. Hey guys, welcome back to Is It Tuesday podcast. I'm Cris Cavallari. Over the weekend, I stumbled across something, and it basically was saying sometimes the blessing doesn't look like a blessing. And I had to speak about this, and I thought about it, and I went back and forth, like, am I ready to... Not even am I ready. Do I feel like it? Do I feel like digging the past back up to get a point across? And I was like, yeah, actually I do. Because what I've realized is if you want to learn how to make $1 million, you would follow and invest in someone that has made $1 million. You would study them. So the reason that I have to resurface some of these things, revisit some of these things, is because I've actually been through them, and now it's a part of the journey. The journey is actually letting a little bit in. And the reason that I decide not to speak about things in its entirety is because I don't live there anymore. I don't have to reread the book. I don't have to highlight it and remember. I lived it, so I know what it is. So when I heard this quote, like a blessing, sometimes the blessing don't look like a blessing. Sometimes we think that things are coming to us wrapped up like, hey, this is what you asked for. You asked for boom, 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 boom. And it may come in a different form. So are you going to miss the blessing just because it's not packaged the way you thought it would be? And I'll tell you, when it comes to co-parenting, when it comes to parenting in general, when it comes to raising a Black child, I definitely, especially a Black son, during my pregnancy and time, like afterwards, I really struggled with, wow, someone else is gonna, most likely my husband is going to help me raise this child. I had to let go of the idea that I've painted for a co-parent that has never been a parent since conception. Like, to be completely honest with you, I seen this coming a long time ago. I seen that the inconsistency was going to be the only thing that's consistent. And it was a lot. It was a lot. And I'm just now accepting that I cannot force or dictate a relationship. I can't pull and, come on, like he doesn't. Sometimes the blessing does not look like what you hoped for, because my hope was to help nurture this relationship. And I really have realized, maybe last year I realized that there's nothing I can do. I can't make a boy a man, but I also can't make a man do the right thing, or a man step up to be a man, or make a father a dad. And I heard this quote and I said, damn, if I want to talk about it, I have to give a little backstory. So that's the backstory. That's all I got for you. Ain't no more tea to it. The tea is, you can't force someone to do something they don't want to do. You can't force someone to be a teammate when they don't want to be a team. And last year, when the co-parent moved away without disclosing that to me, even with a court order, I was blindsided. But not only was I blindsided, I'm starting to deal with behavior issues in school. Oh my God, nightmares, night terrors, so many things that were going on that I had no idea where they were coming from. But unbeknownst to me, this person had moved months prior to telling me. So my son was going through these situations and I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't identify the problem because I didn't have all the tools. I didn't have all the information. So once I, realized that happened, I'm like, oh, okay, now I know what to focus on. He's focusing on his life abruptly changing. And not only did his life abruptly change, within maybe a month of being told that was the last month that I had a consistent schedule, which was every weekend. So I go from every other weekend, Tuesday, Thursday, every other weekend, to every weekend. And then I think the person realized, like, I don't want to do this every weekend. I'm in a new city. I'm in a city that's turned up. So I don't want to do this. I was hoping you said every other, but because I said every weekend, this person was in my mind, this person's like, oh, wait a minute now. It's a lot going back and forth when it's every weekend and you decide to move 2 hours away. And I had a call with a spiritual advisor. And to be honest with you, even after this conversation, it took me a year later to let it sit and marinate on what she was saying. So when I heard this the other day, like, oh, sometimes a blessing isn't wrapped up to how you want it to be. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand that God is giving you an out, that God is giving you an opportunity, that God is sparing a cleanup on aisle 7, right? Let me get to it. When I got the news that this co-parent moved 2 hours away, it was like, oh my God, how am I gonna do X, Y, and Z? And I spoke with the spiritual advisor, and what she told me was really honestly, hand to God, this happened. God had to get him out the way so he wouldn't ruin this. I don't want to say ruin my son, but he wouldn't influence. You see how you got to be careful what you say, because words are spells. He wouldn't be able to have such a huge influence on him, because his absence will, it will dilute that. You understand what I'm saying? Instead of my son being gone every other day, every weekend, there's room for him to be nurtured and grow the correct way, instead of someone pouring their dirty water into his clean cup. And at that moment, I still was like, yeah, but that's not fair. Like, I got 3 businesses. Everything is going so well for me. And then she said, well, it's, you're not left for dead. The reason that God has put these blessings on you is because he knew what you was dealing with. And he made sure you were independent, financially stable, and capable. So every time I want to think about somebody leaving me for dead, I said, did they leave, or did God cast them away? You got to be real careful that you still, you really got to pay attention. You got to be careful. You got to pay attention that, hey, this is not to hurt me. This is to avoid years of therapy and trauma. And not to say that the absence is like, yay, good, you're away, because there's still going to be things that we have to maneuver and get through, right? But you got to look at it this way. Would that absent person put more trauma, just toxicity on his boy in his absence or his presence? I thought about that, last year, but this year when I heard this blessing, I'm like, oh yeah, I know that a blessing is always, it comes the way it's supposed to come. It's not the way sometimes you don't even realize you're getting a blessing, because you just like, oh my gosh, but what about this? But God already handled it. And this is not for me to, dig at anybody, because my prayers are with you. I'm saying it because I'm sure you watch it. Anyway, my prayer, I gotta stay on the light side. My prayer is that his inner child is healed. Because what you need to realize when it's hurt people, they hurt people. And that's not just something that people say. It is actually something that is real. For whatever reason that this person is not who they claim to be, it's a lot of misguided people out here in this world. And if you add misguided and then a lot of them are under the influence, you really got to be careful, because when you're under the influence, there's so many, your demons are attached to you and they moving and shaking and they controlling you, and you are not controlling them. And we all have demons. I got some too. But I'm walking my shit on a leash like DMX in the middle of New York. Like, it's literally, you not walking, no Angela Simmons where the dogs is dragging her. I'm literally telling you the truth of the matter is, don't miss the blessing because it's not packaged up the way you want it to be. I remember being pregnant and a person telling me, I'm going to teach my son to never love a bitch like you. When I tell y'all that broke me in half, it broke me in half because, baby, I'm a lot of things, but I'm a damn good mother. I'm a damn good person. And if you did not know who you are when someone says something like that, it could destroy you. But every day I wake up and I see my son smiling at me and he's just having so much fun playing with me, and we're at the pool and I'm present and I'm protecting his childhood while I'm enjoying my childhood. I'm getting to re-raise me while raising him. There's a lot of things you don't do right the first time. There's a lot of things you question up later on in life. We don't know if we're doing the right thing by these kids all the time. Like, we don't. And if you say that you do, okay, write a book and send it to me. I would love to get a copy. We are doing our very best. But what that best is may not look like it. It may not feel comfortable. It may mean, damn, I got to miss some things. Hey, I can't go to Spain for my birthday. I've planned a whole trip to go to Ibiza for my 40th birthday, and I canceled it. I canceled it. And when I canceled it, I didn't even get like upset. I didn't say like, oh my gosh, I can't go. I'm sorry, I gotta let my guy in. I can't go. All I said was, okay, so where to next? You know what I'm saying? Where to next? Where can we go? Because before this ended again abruptly, I was able to obtain a passport. So what does that mean? Now that means I can travel with my son and nothing stops. We're planning on going on vacation this week, and I'm excited because we're going to celebrate his seventh year birthday, which is number of completion. And then 7 days after that will be my 40th birthday. I'm going to tell you something. Just because the blessing does not come with a red bow on it does not mean you're not blessed. Just because it looks like somebody else is doing something, maybe, just maybe, it's the creator saying, hold on, wait a minute. Before this gets out of hand, I need to remove this person completely before they ruin what you have the opportunity to create. Heal first and then come. Because nothing worse than, a lot of people think like, oh, at least, he see him sometimes. Inconsistency breeds ground for a lot of questions in a child. If you throw away their toy and they never see it, they don't look for it. If they see it, then they take it away. You see it and you take it away, they long for it. Those are questions that his father is going to have to answer for him in the future. But as of right now, I have to be the provider, the protector, and the balanced one. Please do not block your blessings or miss an opportunity when God is showing you something in front of your face. Do not wait a year to be like, oh my God. Do not drag somebody back and forth screaming, in this last episode. It's like, oh, take me back to court. Now, why would I take you back to court 4 times? That would be the 4th time I took you to court. If you don't want to be a parent, I'm not going to make you. I would never want to burden your life in your new life with the children you left behind. So let me tell you something. Enjoy your life. Heal mama so your kids don't have to go through what we've been through. I thank you so much for tuning in this week to Is It Tuesday podcast. That was just a recap. But this week, I want you to look at things differently. I want you to say, wait a minute, is that a blessing in disguise? See you guys next week.